Very near to the city of Corinth was a famous racetrack. In fact, it was right between Corinth and the port of Cenchreae. This area of Greece was called Achaia, and people came from all over the world once every 2 years for this great athletic competition. It was hosted by the Corinthians. It brought a lot of revenue. Tourists came from the east. Tourists came from the west. They came from the eastern side of the peninsula. They came from the western side of the peninsula. They came from Rome. They came from Turkey. They came from everywhere because this was the greatest running competition in the whole world. And in fact, today, if you go to that section of ancient Greece, you can still see the very places where they ran that race. So when Paul wrote to the Corinthians and talked to them about running a race, he was speaking to them in language which they understood. In fact, the man who was the judge of the races, he actually lived in the city of Corinth, and in the ancient ruins of Corinth is a building where he set up shop. It was the athletic headquarters for these races, which happened once every 2 years. So the Corinthians understood this very much. And the runners who ran in these races were fierce. They were determined. They were aggressive. They were ambitious. Everybody wanted to win the race because the rewards of this were so mighty. Money, reward, glory, honor, statues of you carved from stone and placed in various positions in the city. You became eternally a hero because you won the race. So now with all of that in mind, Paul wrote to the Corinthians about their own faith, about our faith. And he said, "Know ye not that they which run in a race run all?" They're all running. And let me tell you, many people start in the race, but not everybody finishes the race. Think of the people you know who started out with a boom, but they ended with a fizzle. There's a lot of people start with a boom, but they end with a fizzle because they don't have the wherewithal to keep running all the way to the end. And Paul says only one's going to win the prize. There's not going to be multiple winners here. Only one's going to win the prize. So run that ye may obtain. And the word obtain is the Greek word katalambano. Kata describes something which comes downward forcefully. Something which comes downward forcefully. It's dominating. It's subjugating. The word lambano means to take or to receive. And when you compound the two words together, it describes the attitude of a winner, katalambano, to seize it, to embrace it, to tackle it, to take it down, to conquer it, to master it until you make it your very own. That's the attitude you have to have if you're going to finish on top. Now, you know, in Scripture we're told the first shall be last, the last shall be first. We're told that we're to prefer our brothers above ourselves. So it seems at first that there's a little bit of a conflict, that we want other people to do better than us, but yet Paul says that we're to run like we could win. In our treatment of others, we should prefer them above ourselves. But when it comes to our own attitude of excellence and what we're going to achieve with our life, everything in us having to do with us personally, we should desire to do no less than to conquer, tackle, master, take it down, subdue it, and to finish number one, not for the sake of our own glory, because your own glory is what the Bible calls vain glory, not worth the time of day. It's to bring honor and glory to Jesus Himself. Prefer others above yourself, but when it comes to the call of God on your own life, you should do everything you can to finish first place, not for vainglory, but for His glory.